Snowplows, shovels, and travel warnings. We are used to all of that around this time of the year, especially when we are talking about that winter storm that could be happening in January and February generally. But right now we're talking about a major snowstorm that is bearing down in the region in April.
Well, parts of Washington state have already been through the pain. Just take a look at that video.
They're cleaning up after 14 inches fell, and now parts of our region are bracing for similar trouble as well.
Xcel Energy is getting its crews ready in case trouble during this week's forecasted snowstorm.
It's also reminding people to stay away from any downed power lines, keep your natural gas meters clear, and build a home emergency kit. And also be mindful of any proper space heater safety.
Well, time now is 6:53. We're going to head over to our meteorologist, Lisa Green, for a look at your forecast. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. First alert weather day starts today, and it's actually a first alert weather week essentially. Today through Friday, we're going to be dealing with conditions that are going to be very difficult out there. Here's a look outside right now in Devil's Lake. This is one of the areas I'm keeping a close eye on because we're in a blizzard warning here. You see all of the alerts scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and this is going to be one of the places that likely gets that double-digit snowfall for us here in the valley. Right now, not much going on, but there is some snow approaching on the radar. We'll show you that in a second. 34 degrees right now in Fargo. Fargo, one of those places in the transition zone. So we're looking at Fargo maybe getting more rain today than snow. Grand Forks more likely to get snow, and look, our temperature is well below freezing, 27 degrees right now. Thief River Falls at 29. It's 32 in Bemidji. Fergus Falls, a warm 39 here to start, and Devil's Lake at 26 degrees. So once we start seeing that snow, it's likely to stick, especially when we see the heavier snow coming in. And that's what's happening here on the radar. You see the blue and the green lifting northward here as this first round, this first hit of this system starts to take over. Zooming in a little bit more, you can see up to the north, up by Devil's Lake, we're starting to see some deeper blue moving toward the lake and moving toward town. And then this stretches down through Jamestown, back down toward Ellendale as well. And then there's that rain snow line we've been warning you about. Fargo right on it, and that's going to be the case I think here for the next 12 to plus hours. We're going to be right on that edge before we start to see that changeover happen. And then some places in the southeast perhaps maybe seeing some flakes, but your temperatures, as we just showed you, are pretty mild in that area, so it's not accumulating. But this is all just starting up, so, and it's pressing northward. We're going to see the winds pick up with it too. Right now, not too bad. North or northeasterly winds in the northern valley. Southern valley starting to see a sign of that wind increasing, a gust in Jamestown to 29. In Fargo, your school bus forecast looks like more of a rainy one, more of a wet forecast here. Wind will be picking up. We're looking at gusts into the 40s by this afternoon. If you are in that blizzard area, I hope you've already planned ahead, but want to just give you a heads up that travel is going to become impossible over time in some of those places, getting those double-digit snowfall totals. If you must travel, full tank of gas, charge your phone, survival kit, of course, needed. And you want to stay with your vehicle if you're stranded. Of course, you can stay up to date with us here. We'll be keeping you posted throughout this event as it continues over the next couple of days.
A lot to go over there. Lisa, thank you this morning.
Time now is 6:56. They're back from disaster and serving up some special thanks to firefighters who saved their building.
Paradiso Mexican restaurant in Fargo is now back open after a fire last month caused $150,000 in damages. To show their appreciation, employees treated first responders who were on that fire call to a special meal. Fire Captain Matt Brand says although they were just doing their job, there is a sense of pride in knowing that they saved the restaurant.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is heading to Moorhead this morning to talk about what his $300 million public safety proposal would mean for the Moorhead area. He says Moorhead would receive nearly $764,000 a year for the public safety. Dilworth would get $80,000, and Clay County would receive nearly $179,000 per year.
Prosecutors say 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged with aiding and abetting the murder of George Floyd turned down plea deals in the state case against them, which starts in June. Prosecutors are not disclosing details of the plea offers, but say they were identical and made in March after a jury convicted Total, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander King on federal civil rights charges stemming from Floyd's death. Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill is now considering whether or not to allow live video coverage of that upcoming trial. 3 men are now charged in the brutal beating of a 20-year-old man outside of a Grafton bar. Jason, Jacob, and Cristobal Garza are facing charges of aggravated assault. Court documents allege the 3 men pulled Curtis Graver out of his vehicle and then beat him.
A West Fargo man is pleading guilty of throwing a punch that killed a father of 6. 36-year-old Thomas Cervantes pleaded guilty to felony manslaughter in the death of 53-year-old Roberto Balboa. The assault happened last August at a concert at the Speedway Event Center in West Fargo. Well, check this out. It's a fiery crash, and it was all caught on MnDOT camera. A DWI suspect smashes into a box truck on the overpass, which is outside of the Twin Cities. This all happened yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, you saw it right there. The truck driver overcorrects, hits the guardrail, and then his rig goes up in flames. Both drivers are hurt, but not critically.
Well, a group that wants to legalize recreational marijuana in North Dakota is submitting paperwork to begin the approval process. The group would need to gather more than 15,000 signatures by July 11th to get the measure on the ballot for the general election in November.
The proposed measure would allow anyone over 21 to use limited amounts of marijuana and purchase products from registered establishments in North Dakota. A similar effort failed in 2020.
People in Moorhead would likely pay another $25 a year in sales taxes on purchases if the new city sales tax goes through. Voters will decide a half-cent sales tax in November to finance a new public library and community center.
A study by the University of Minnesota Extension Service says about 30% of the sales taxes are paid by non-city residents, but people who live in Moorhead would pay an average of about $2 more a month in additional sales tax. And nearly 300 students are impacted by school boundary changes in Moorhead. The board voted last night to rework the lines in order to ease space crunches at elementary schools on the city's south and east sides.
Well, changes start the fall, and you can check the maps online at valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story.
And we have a one-day roadblock to worry about going up in South Fargo at 17th Street South between 9th and 11th. It starts at 8:30 this morning.
Workers are doing some water utility repair and should be done by the end of the day.
The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up for you on the CW. Have a great Tuesday.